Rshis.To asaktis.To bhavas.To Prema Kaam sadhu पहले क्रमशः श्रद्धा, साधु संग, भजन क्रिया, अनर्थ निवृत्ति एवं भजन में निष्ठा, भजन में रुचि और भजन विषय में आसक्ति भाव को तत्पश्चात प्रेम का आविर्भूत होता है। शास्त्र में वर्णित प्रेम की विकास का यह क्रम यथार्थ है। इसके बाद और भी उत्तरोत्तर विशिष्ट आस्वादन प्रदान करने वाली स्नेह, मान, प्रणय, राग, अनुराग, भाव, महाभाव नाम के फल भक्ति रूपी कठोरता के ऊपर पत्रों पर विराजमान होते हैं। साधक का शरीर उनके आसादन रूपी संपत्ति को उष्णता और शीतलता आदि के संपादन की सहन में समर्थ नहीं होता। अतः साधक देश में देह में उनका अभाव संभव नहीं है, इसलिए यहाँ पर उनका विशेष वर्णन नहीं किया गया है। यहाँ पर
So here, the author, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pala, is telling that there are many stages of bhakti. I'm searching also how we can slowly how can this manifest in the sadhaka's heart, just like from the tree. First, the flowers, they come the buds. Bud. First the bud comes from before the flowers, you know. And this bud slowly develops and becomes a flower. And then this flower slowly will open its petals. So in the same way, the sadhak is crossing the stages of sadhu sangha bhajana kriya anarthas vritti. Shraddha sadhu sangha bhajana kriya anarthas vritti. Until prema. So and also the devotee follow the 6 limbs of bhakti, headed by taking shelter of Guru, taking diksha, shiksha. Sadhu means in the beginning you have to take shelter of the feet of Gurudev. Then diksha, receiving mantra from Gurudev. And shiksha, then you have to enter the conception, knowledge of the scriptures. Then slowly, serving Gurudev with intimacy. In this way, the sadhak, in the sequence, is entering the realm of bhakti. So there are also many kinds of divisions we see. Suppose Sraddha, two kinds of Sraddha. One Lokik Sraddha and another Paramarthik Sraddha. Transcendental faith. The spiritual faith is also known as Vaidhi and Raganuga. Two kinds of Shraddha, Paramarthik, Vaidhi Shraddha or Raganuga Shraddha. According to the samskara of previous lives, maybe you go to the path of Vaidhi or maybe Raganuga. So some Sraddha is Aishwarya Mula Shraddha with opulence mode, sometimes with Madhurya Mula Shraddha, with sweetness mode. If you think Krishna is Lord, God, those who have faith in this way, they are called Aishwarya Mula Shraddha. Aishwarya Mula Shraddha. Those who think Krishna is God. But if you think Lord is like just a family member, this is called Madhurya Shraddha, this faith, this sweetness mode. But Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pada, in this book, he is saying, in the first stage, the sadhaka, his Shraddha is called Aishwarya Mula Shraddha. The devotee thinks Lord Krishna, God is God, Bhagavan is God. Just like one leaf. When one leaf manifests from the plants, there's the inner part of the leaf and the lower parts of the leaf. The lower parts of the leaf is very rough. The inferior part of the leaf, very rough. Is rough, and the upper part of the leaf is smooth. So when this leaf is manifesting in the plant, growing like this, maybe you have seen if you see a leaf coming in the plant. First, the plant come like the leaf come fold. So only the rough part, the lower part is showing. But when this leaf starts to grow and like manifest and open, then this rough part goes down, and this smooth part comes up. So by this example is given because Vaidhi Bhakti is just like this rough part, and this is the first stage. The beginning is like Vaidhi Bhakti, which is like the rough part of the leaf. But then following Vaidhi Bhakti, and by the association of sadhu, and listening Hari Katha also, when you develop Lobha, greed, then Raga Bhakti manifests in the heart. So the soft part of the leaf is Raga Bhakti. So Shraddha also there is Loki and Shraddha also Vaidhi and Raganuga, two kinds of faith. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote, in the beginning stage, the sadhaka must do what? Follow all the rules. Listening Bhagavad Katha slowly, then you develop Lobha to your Ishtadeva. This Lobha is called Lobhamayi Bhakti. And this is called Raganuga Bhakti. By the sukriti of many lives, you cannot attain them. But with your greed, very easily you can attain. By the greed you can attain. But what is the cause of the Lobha appearing to someone? Vishwanath Chakravarti says Lobha has no cause. It is spontaneous. By the samskaras of previous lives. Then it comes automatically. So this is called Lobhamayi Bhakti. This Lobhamayi Bhakti. So the Lobha itself is the cause of the appearance of the greed, of the Lobha. By the logic of the Shastra, you cannot establish how the Lobha comes, only by logic of Shastra. Actually, according to the samskara of previous lives and according to the nature of the soul itself, this Lobha comes. What is this Lobha, this greed? Listening to Krishna Katha, and then after listening to Hari Katha, this desire to serve in that mode arises. Suppose you listen about how Nanda Yashoda serving Krishna in Vatsalya Rasa. Then you listen to this, and then in your heart you feel, I need to serve Krishna also in Vatsalya Rasa. But there's one speciality thing here. Okay, to serve Krishna in Vatsalya Bhava, but how to serve him? Under the guidance of Nanda and Yashoda. If you think I am Nanda Yashoda, no, this is not. Krishna is the son of Nanda and Yashoda, and under the guidance of Nanda and Yashoda, I will serve Krishna in Vatsalya Bhava. This is the speciality. Otherwise, if you think yourself you are Nanda, Yashoda or Lalita Vishaka, this is called ahamgopasana. Like if you think yourself you are them. It's like if you're thinking you're God, basically, you're thinking you're the worshipable deity. This thing of Mayavadis. That's why the sadhaka should be careful. Which careful of what? You should be careful. The sadhaka should never think that you're like Nanda or Yashoda. Never should think that. You should think, okay, the eternal parents of Krishna are Nanda and Yashoda. And Nanda and Yashoda, they only, indeed, they can really and actually serve Krishna in Vatsalya Bhava. But under the guidance of Nanda Yashoda, Anugatta, I want to serve Krishna in this Vatsalya Bhava also. So it's called Anugatamayi Seva, serving under the guidance. So in this way, Sadhu Sangha is also like this. Karmi Sadhu, Gyani Sadhu, Yogi Sadhu, Bhakti Sadhu. You should have the association of the Bhakta Sadhu. Someone who has realization, who has the pure heart. You should have his association and who is affectionate towards you. Someone like-minded, having the same mood as you, the sadhu. Like you have to associate with a sadhu which is like-minded, higher than you, and you have to associate with him. What is Sangha, association? You accept or imbibe yourself with the same conceptions about the scriptures that he has. Listening Hari Katha. The third canto of the Bhagavatam, in the conversation between Kapila and devotee, they are saying, By sadhu sangha, we can attain our cherished goal. So, someone of the same mood, like-minded, and his inner heart is so clean, spotless, the sadhu, no? And he has no duplicity and no hypocrisy. The sadhu that we must associate with, his heart is so pure, and he's higher than you, and he's like-minded, and has the same mood, and his heart doesn't have even a slightly, his heart is not contaminated even slightly by hypocrisy, chal dharma, cheating. What is chal dharma? Cheating religions. Except for Krishna Bhakti, everything else is chal dharma. Cheating duties or cheating religions or cheating dharma. If you don't serve Krishna and you do Bhajan, you worship someone else, this is all chal dharma. This is all cheating religions, cheating dharma. You can understand dharma, cheating dharma. Bhakti Prabhupada explains what is chal dharma, cheating dharma. Cheating religions or cheating duties. Yes, this verse. It's a shloka in the Chaitanya Bhagavata describing. Except for Krishna Bhakti. Except for Krishna Bhakti, all other dharmas, they are cheating dharma. Because dharma can also translate as religion sometimes. Okay. So, because the nature of the soul is to serve to Krishna. So if you don't serve to Krishna, you're cheating. It's a cheating thing. And the most dangerous child, and the most dangerous child dharma, cheating religion or cheating dharma or philosophy or anything, so is aham brahmasmi. You think you're God. This is very faulty, very terrible. This param nirmatsaram sadhu. You have to serve the sadhus that don't have any enviousness, pure hearts. Okay, you're doing sadhu sangha, but the specification of the sadhu is explained here. What is the adjective of the sadhu in this verse? It's nirmatsaram. Means a non-envious sadhu. His heart has no envy. And he's free from all the anarthas. And after listening this sweet Hari Katha, the heart and the ears become full of ras, very relishable, very nice, beautiful and delicious. The heart and ears become very nice, beautiful and delicious. Do you know actually the meaning of rasalai? Like in Sanskrit, mango is called rasalai because the mango is so delicious. So rasa, full of rasa, full of juice, like delicious. So our heart also should be like this. Ashai means the inner core. So the sadhu, the inner core of heart, how should be? Snigdha, very clean heart. Very nirmal, a spotless heart, without any kind of chalkapat, duplicity, hypocrisy, zero in his heart. His heart is not contaminated by duplicity, hypocrisy. Satovari, this saint should be higher than you. Sraddha, he should be higher than you. He should be higher than me, no? So you should associate with this rasik sadhu. You should associate with him. So
फिर कहें भजन क्रिया है। भजन क्रिया भी दो प्रकार है।
Two kinds of bhajana kriya.
निष्ठिता भजन और
Nishtita bhajan and
अनिष्ठिता भजन।
anishtita bhajan.
निष्ठिता भजन की आलोचना नहीं करके पहले अनिष्ठिता भजन
So,
की बता रहे हैं।
before speaking about nishtita bhajan, we speak about anishtita bhajan. So how many kinds of anishtita bhajan?
अनिष्ठा अनस्टेडीनेस भजन क्रिया
How many kinds of anishtita bhajan? 6 kinds of anishtita bhajan. What are they?
नियमक्षमा और विषय संग्रह और ये समझते हैं।
All the 6 stages of anishtita bhajan.
से निश्चित आदि शब्दा प्रभु साधु संग तत्व भजन क्रिया। इसके बाद अनर्थ निवृत्ति।
Then after that, anartha nivritti.
अनर्थ भी के बारे में भी ज्ञान होनी
So we should also know about the anarthas.
चाहिए। चक्रवर्ती पाद
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pada in the book Madhurya Kadambini Dandakaranya Maharaj
सात प्रकार के अनर्थ बताया।
explains about the 4 kinds of anarthas. Diskrita Uttanartha, Sukrita Uttanartha, Bhakti Uttanartha and Aparada Uttanartha. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Pada explains. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he also described 4 more kinds of anarthas. Swarupa Brahm, Heda Dirbalya, Asatrisna and Aparad. Then each of them is divided into 4, subdivided in 4. So first I told Swarupa Brahm, the first one. So Paraswarupe, Swaswarupe, Paraswarupe, Tataswarupe, Maya Brahm Swarupe. So these 4 kinds of Swarupa Brahm. What is Brahm, this illusion? You think something else. Suppose you think a snake is a rope and a rope is a snake. The jiva is also absorbed in sense gratification so much. So you want to cheat others, cheating propensity, vipralipsa. Karanapatava means imperfect sense. Your imperfect senses is karanapatava. Your senses, ears, nose, tongue, skin, and also the 5 working senses, hands, legs, anus, genitals, speech, and the mind. Your senses, all of your senses, 11 senses, they want to enjoy the object of the senses. Our eyes, they want to see the beautiful form. So the same way, all our senses, they are taking us to the sense gratification, to enjoy the object of the senses. So we should remember this again and again. You listen only one time and it's enough? No. Again and again, you have to listen about it. Again and again, you have to listen about it. Swarup Brahm, Hridayadribhalya, Asatrisna and Aparada, the 4 kinds of anarthas. Each of them, they are also subdivided into 4 more. So total 16, 20 plus 20 total. From Vishwanath Chakravarti Pad, more 4. Okay, so it's 16. Não, porque tem mais os outros 4, né? Então, the conditioned soul, they always have 4 faults: Brahma, Pramada, Vipralipsa, and Karanapatava. Slowly, slowly doing the bhajan. Your senses become also reflected by bhakti, with the bhakti, reflected with bhakti. He said like this, bhakti ke dara like he'll explain. Bhakti is transcendental. So our senses, they are material. So the name, form, pastimes of God are transcendental. So how can we accept them with our material senses? So in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu explains about this. Srila Rupa Goswami says, holy names and form of Lord and His pastimes is transcendental and our senses are material. How to accept them? So in the second line explains, if you have the Sevanmukh Vritti, tendency to serve, so one thing is Bhogamukh Vritti, tendency to enjoy, and Sevanmukh Vritti, tendency to serve. When you have Bhogamukh Vritti, you have tendency, desire to enjoy the sense gratification and to fulfill the happiness of your sense. Swasukh Vasana, desire for your own happiness. This is called Bhogamukh Vritti, desire to enjoy. But if you have Sevanmukh Vritti, you want the happiness of God only. How God can be happy? Always thinking about this. How God can be happy? You're always thinking about this. And you have the tendency to serve accordingly. It's called Sevanmukh Vritti. So two tendencies. Tendency to enjoy the material sense gratification and tendency to serve Krishna. Bhogamukh Vritti and Sevanmukh Vritti. So by the Bhogamukh Vritti, tendency to enjoy, we are bound in this material world. Because naturally you have the hangata bhav. I am the doer mood. You think of the doer of the actions. And because of this, you become under illusion of Maya. So how should it be? We should have Sevanmukh Vritti, tendency to serve. We should be Sevanmukh Vritti, tendency to serve with our senses. By this tendency, when we do the bhajan with this propensity, then slowly, slowly, all our senses, they become aprakthavath. They become like transcendental. Our senses don't become transcendental, do not become transcendental, but they become as like transcendental. What is this? They become tadathma, oneness with the potency of Lord. Our senses, they become, by the causeless mercy of Bhagavan, all our senses, they become tadatma, one with, what is tadatma? Let's discuss about this also. What is? Just like, yeah, you told very nice. Just like if you take the piece of iron, a rod of iron, and then you put it on the fire, after some time the iron will be hot and red. All the potency of the fire entered the iron rod. So the burning potency of the fire entered the iron rod. And slowly, slowly, this fire entered the iron rod. So it's the same way, the sadhak, doing bhajan slowly, slowly. Your senses will be tadatma, oneness with the potency of Lord. And in this moment, you'll be able to discuss and accept this name, form, pastimes of Lord, which are transcendental. because you will be tadatma, oneness. You'll be one with the potency of Lord. Then, in first senses, we can see Lord and hear about Him. Understand? So, Sevanmukh Vritti and Bhogamukh Vritti. Tendency to serve and to enjoy. You have to give up Bhogamukh Vritti, and we should follow the Sevanmukh Vritti. Tendency to serve. The Bhogamukh Vritti brings you to hell and makes you wander more and more in this material world. Sevanmukh Vritti, the tendency to serve Lord. Bhagavan, through Yogamaya, will make the senses of this bhakta, devotee, as like transcendental. Just like the example I gave. One iron rod cannot burn anything. But if you put this iron rod in the fire, if you put the iron rod in the fire, and the heat of the fire will enter each particle of the iron, and the iron will also be able to burn, because the qualities of the fire entered it. And which potency of the fire? The fire has the potency to burn, and now this iron will also be able to burn other things. In the same way, the sadhaka, when he's doing the Bhajan with faith, slowly, when he gets the mercy of Lord, in this moment, Swayam Bhagavan makes his senses tadathma. Okay. So slowly be free from anarthas. After that, anishta, ruchi in the Bhajan. Which page? I'm lost. Nishta in the Bhajan and Ashakti. Like for example, Nishta in chanting the holy names. So you should have Nishta in the chanting of the holy names. Early in the morning after waking up, you should chant the holy names of Lord. And you should give up all of the thoughts and everything, and should one-pointedly think about the form, pastimes, qualities of Lord. Yeah, 432 page, Gurudev page 432. So we should give up the Bhogamukh Vritti and accept the Sevanmukh Vritti. 432. After this, among the leaves... wait a minute. Yeah, 432. Last paragraph. After this, among the leaves on the uppermost branches of the wish-fulfilling vine of Bhakti are the fruits of Sneha, Man, Pranay, Rag, Anurag and Mahabhav. Here, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying, each the body of the sadhaka is unable to tolerate excessive heat, coolness, or the colliding of the two. So when the devotee relishes prem, what happens? His heart becomes so cool and also at the same time very hot. It's like fire. Because this is the nature of prem. In this moment, the sadhak, he cannot keep his body. Transcendental. This transcendental prem, what happens? Cannot actually enter this material body. And that's why that moment, in the moment of bhav even, the devotee gives up the material body. And then by the mercy of Lord, the devotee gets a transcendental divine body. Actually, both look like same, these two bodies. Look like same, but they are completely different. Look like same? एक के जैसे कर दे. Interesting. So the body looks like the other one. So the devotee cannot understand. The prema is cold like the ice, or hot like fire. Or looks like it's both at the same time. Coolness and hot. Heat. How is this possible? Yeah. I understood, but the general is darkness and the sun, not the rays of the. Okay. So. Okay, so the rays of the moon and the sun cannot be together at the same time. One is cooling, another one is hot. So the body of the sadhaka is unable to tolerate excessive heat, coolness, or the colliding of the two, which comes from savoring these treasures of prem. The body cannot tolerate this. So they give up the body, or by the mercy of Yogamaya, they get the body of Gopis in Braj. This is the thing. They get a Chinmaya body, transcendental body. Those rishis living in Dandakaranya forest for thousands of years, they chanted Gopal Mantra. So we're talking about the Krishna Mantra, Gopal Mantra. It's a very powerful mantra. It's called Mantra Raj. What this title it has? The Gopal Mantra is called Mantra Raj, King of the Mantras. Okay, continue the katha. So the sadhaka cannot keep this body because at the same time coolness and at the same time too much hot. In this world this is not possible. It happens. Where there is fire, this coolness, this cold goes away automatically. So how to continue there? I mean, how to tolerate this? Isn't it true? Just like the sun and the darkness cannot be together. But in the transcendental world, we see this speciality. And another body comes just like the same. When he says like that the body will be just like aprakthavath, like transcendental, and the devotee doesn't even know. Sometimes the devotee doesn't know if that body changed or not. So actually the sadhaka in the body cannot attain prema with the body, only until Ashakti. After bhav, like just coming to bhav, then the devotee gives up the body. So we are discussing about he has prema and this and that. But actually, for the sadhaka is not possible. In the book Madhurya Kadambini explains clearly. Only in the transcendental world, in this lila, where the lilas of Lord is happening, are going on. Then Yogamaya gives a transcendental body to this sadhaka. The body of the Gopis is a transcendental body. It's not a material body, the body of the Gopis. And who knows also for how many thousand years they did Bhajan before, in previous lives. So their body is transcendental. But those who are starting the bhajan and sadhana now, it's not possible for them. It is therefore not possible for them to appear in the sadhaka's body, and so they have not been described in detail here. Chaitanya Charitamrita explains, just like the Jamunada hem. Hem means gold, meaning on the top of the Himalayan mountain in India there is one beautiful tree called Jamun tree. It's a blackberry. Jamelão, pessoal chama. And the seed of this blackberry, if you eat this seed, you are free from many diseases. It's very nutritious. So in the top of the Himalayas there is this tree called Jamun tree. Just under this Jamun tree there is a small river flowing. And this tree is just in the banks of the river, on the banks. And when the fruits of the tree, this jamun fruit, ripens and touches the floor, falls and touches the ground of that place, but it becomes gold. Immediately when it's falling down, becomes gold. So this fruit is falling from the tree. Fruit became ripe. And then when the fruit is falling down and touching the bank of the river, by this touching in the bank, on the bank, this fruit becomes gold. But it's like a transcendental gold, divine. And this gold is taken immediately by the demigods. So this is called Jambunada hem, like the hem, the gold from this river and from this tree. Hema means gold. So this gold does not come to this material world, goes to the demigod's place. So the prema is also something like this. It does not exist in this world. Just like this gold, never exactly stays here, it goes to demigod's place. It's not possible for a normal sadhaka to prema rise in his heart, because if you say, oh, if it's not possible prema to come in the heart, in the sadhaka body, why are we discussing about prema then? If prema does not even exist here, so why we are discussing about this prema? We are speaking normal of prema. But what is prema? In this world it's not possible prema. What we say about love here is actually material love. Actually, this prema of the Gopis is the real lust, and the real lust is the prema of the Gopis, is something pure and transcendental. In this world, the definition of kama and prema is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Atmendriya pritivancha tare balika. Krishna
Krishnendra Prativancha Dhare Premonam.
So this verse very beautifully explains, if you want to enjoy your own senses, this is lust. And if you just want to give happiness to the senses of Krishna, how Krishna can be happy? If you want to give just happiness to the sense of Krishna, this is Prema. The Gopis of Vraja, whatever they do is for the happiness of Krishna, nothing else. So the topmost service, what is it? Vishwanath Chakravarti explains. Rupa Goswami gave the definition of pure bhakti. So we're saying that prema doesn't exist in this world. So why do we discuss about prema if it doesn't exist? If everything is only lust and lust. So why do we speak about prema then? This question arises. Okay, first understand the question, and then the answer understand automatically. This, if you have the desire to fulfill, to give happiness to your senses, this is lust. Externally, it looks like prem, like love, but it's not. It's lust only. Why? Because you have the desire to the happiness of your own senses, and this is the cause of our fall down. How Krishna can be happy? Thinking about that. In the Guru Astakam, this is being described. So it's being described your Guru Rupa Sakhi. This is the duty of the Guru Rupa Sakhi. It's being described in the Guru Astakam. They decide which Leela of Radha and Krishna we will do today that will be amazing and so relishable. Should be amazing, like astonishing, and relishable, like delicious. The Leela should be. Chamatkar means something inedito, like something new, never seen before. Today we'll make some Leela. We'll present such a Leela that is like astonishing, like so amazing, impressive, like new, Should be like this. And at the same time should also be beautiful and very relishable, like tasteful. Two things. Alibi means Sakibi. Means the friends, the Sakis, they are waiting the decision of the Guru Rupa Sakhi about the Leela, which Leela they have to do for Radha and Krishna. So I told the Leela should be like new and amazing, astonishing, and at the same time should be delicious. Very tasty, so much tasty. So Guru Pada Padma, what he does he do? Always immersed in these bhavas. So, okay, general conception. When Gurudeva disappears, we say that Gurudeva went to the Nitya Lila. We put the Nitya Lila in front of his name. But when Gurudeva is still in this world, we don't put Nitya Lila in his name. But what is the Tattva Vichar, the philosophy? conclusion of the scriptures. The bona fide guru is always in the Nitya Lila. You see, Gurudeva, Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj, one thing about him. Before, the joy time, joy. He used to give joy to Param Guru Maharaj. There was a brahmachari. Okay. So when they used to say Gaura Narayana to give joy, he used to say Nitya Lila Pravista Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Maharaj ki jai. Gaura Narayana Srila Narayana Maharaj used to speak like this, the Jai Dwani for his guru. And then all the god brothers of Srila Narayana Goswami Maharaj, Gaura Narayana at that time became angry. Why are you giving Nitya Lila to Gurudev if Gurudev is still alive? Gurudev is here. Why are you putting Nitya Lila in front of his name? Isn't it? Because when Gurudeva disappears, then we put the Nitya Lila in front. Because now he went to Nitya Lila. But your Gurudeva means Param Gurudeva Srila Bhakti Pragyana, he's still alive. So why are you putting the name Nitya Lila when you're giving jai to him? Then Srila Narayana Goswami said, but Gurudeva is always in Nitya Lila. And that's it. He's always in Nitya Lila. So these God brothers, they came to ask about this to Srila Bhakti Pragyana. And Bhakti Pragyana Keshava Goswami Maharaj will explain. Like Srila Narayana Maharaj told them, go to Gurudeva, Bhakti Pragyana, and he will explain. And then there were some disciples of Srila Prabhupada. They also complained. Oh, this new brahmachari just came and he's putting the Nitya Lila in front of your name. It's not the proper siddhanta, not proper conclusion of the scriptures. Then Param Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Pragyana, what did he say? What did he say? He said there's one general conception and one specific or subtle conception. For the normal people, this is okay. Okay, if the Guru is still in this world, then you don't put Nitya Lila in his name. But when Guru disappears, then you put the Nitya Lila in the name. Because now Gurudeva entered Nitya Lila. Gurudeva went to Nitya Lila, means now Gurudeva is serving his worshipful deity. Param Guru Maharaj said, okay, this is the general conception, but the subtle conception, very specific. The Uttam Adhikari saint, he's always absorbed in the Ashtakaliya Lila. And he's absorbed always in the Nitya Seva, in the Lilas. Like Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti spoke in this verse, Nikunja Yona. So they are always serving in the Nitya Lila. And these two are possible at the same time. Because there is the Sadhaka Rup, the body of the Sadhaka, and the Siddha Rup. An internal form serving the transcendental world. So, what he told was right. I mean, Gaura Narayana, what he said was right. But normal people could not understand that. That's why we're not doing this, putting the Nitya Lila in the names when the Guru is alive, because normal people cannot understand. But if you speak about specific conceptions, this is true, this is right, actually. Because the Guru is always immersed in the Bhagavat Lila Katha. The Uttam Bhagavat Guru. His food, his behavior, whatever he does and drinks, everything. He's absorbed in thinking about Lord's pastimes. His food, his sleep, his activities, everything are just like the man who is making the wheel, the pots, clay pot. That a potter. He has one disc, the disc. Oleiro. So one time only he turns the wheel to make the clay pots, and he doesn't need to circle, to move that wheel all the time. It's just move one time and the wheel continues spinning. In the same way, the Uttam Sadhaka, his mundane activities, such as eating and sleeping, these activities, they are also going on in the same way of this wheel that is also turning on, spinning automatically. Just because the previous habit, Vishwanath Chakravarti explained this word. So his bodily activities, they go on according to the previous habit. Purva Abhyas. So his sleep, food, everything according to the previous habit, just a habit going on automatically. But his internally conceived body, this is called Siddha Deha. He's always serving God in the Siddha Deha and absorbed in the Leelas. That's why Rupa Goswami wrote Siddha Karupena and Siddha Rupena. So in the body of the sadhak and the body Siddha, this internally body serving the transcendental world. So if you put the Nitya Lila in front of the Guru's name, means Gurudev is still in this world, and if you put the Nitya Lila in front of his name, this is not a fault. Try to understand. But normal people cannot understand this. That's why we don't speak about this everywhere, because normal people will not understand. How is your Guru in the Nitya Lila? How? Rupa Goswami told Sadhaka Rupena Siddha Rupena. In the form of the Sadhaka, he will do Nama Sankirtana. In the Siddha Rupa, internally conceived the form Siddha Deha, he will serve and remember Govinda. In the same way, in the same time, in the transcendental world, at the same time, in this world. But normal people don't understand. If the sadhaka has not yet gone there, he will not be able to understand. Understand? This is the thing. Okay. So who won in this debate, or this? Gaura Narayana won the arguments. Bhakti Pragyana gave the made win Narayana Maharaj. Gave the victory to Srila Narayana Maharaj. And all the disciples who were there, they all, yeah, okay, he was right. But still, when the Guru is alive, you should not use the Nitya Lila. It's not proper. Understand? Time is up. What is the Tulasi great soul? How many Atmas are there? Satatma. Satatma means the truth will be victorious.
इस विषय में अनेक प्रमाण रहने पर भी यह उनके उल्लेख का प्रयोजन नहीं है, क्योंकि प्रमाणों के अपेक्षा करने से अनुभव पद में पक्वता ही प्रतीत होता है। सब वस्तु प्रमाण दे करके
to give evidence of everything, to establish everything with evidence is not possible. If you give evidence, some people will come with logic. No. Carcass. The rubbishness. Suppose. You know, the goat has that beard. Rabindranath also has a beard, so you can say Rabindranath is a goat. No, it's not. No, but logic people do this kind of connections, links. Not the goat has beard, but you cannot say all person has beard is a goat. Those lawyers in the courts, they are wasting time with these logic things, logic links. They are doing these logic things actually just to spend more money there and to take more money from the clients, the lawyers. They are just with these logic thoughts and this and that and wasting time in the court, and in this way actually they are just taking money more from the clients. Ram Chagal has beard, and Rabindranath, you cannot say like the goat has beard and Rabindranath also has beard, so that's why Rabindranath is a goat. No, this is a dry logic, no sense. You cannot, there's no meaning, it's rubbish, useless. The heart will be even more harder, like rubbish. So, for 137 page, Bhavanavada. Although there is abundance of scriptural evidence pertaining to the characteristics and the visible symptoms of Ruchi, Shakti, Bhav and Prem, such evidence has not been cited herein. For if one depends on such scriptural proofs for these stages, one meets with some roughness on the path of realization. Nonetheless, one seeking citations from scripture can deliberate on these verses. What is the first line of this verse? I'm always telling again and again. 2 slokas. Evam varata swapriyanama krite. And one more verse I always also say. Listening to the pastimes of Lord, the sadhaka becomes absorbed, intoxicated in prem. Pede para Madana mandar aí a primeira linha. Madana mandar a primeira linha. Madana Gopal Prabhu.
आदि इस समस्त जो असंग माने असत्संग आदि त्याग दे करके एकमात्र भगवान की लीला कथाओं में प्रवेश करते हैं। समय हो गया। विभिन्न प्रकार की कामना से आच्छादित अविद्याग्रस्त हृदय वाले मनुष्य किसी विशेष सौभाग्य से महापुरुषों की कृपा से श्रद्धा प्राप्त कर भजन में प्रवृत्त होते हैं। वे श्री गुरु के चरण में आश्रय लेकर हरिनाम और दीक्षा ग्रहण कर श्रवण कीर्तन आदि
433 Piyusha Varshini Vritti. A person whose heart is shrouded by ignorance and by numerous material desires may attain Sraddha by some good fortune, the grace of a pure devotee, and begin to engage in Bhajan. After taking shelter of the feet of Guru, he accepts Harinam and Diksha initiation. As he practices the activities of Bhakti such as Shravana and Kirtan, and as the eradication of unwanted desires and habits take place, Okay, if you chant holy names without offense, you can attain prema very easily. There's not even necessary all this sequence. It's not necessary all this sequence. But because such an inoffensive person is rare in this world, these stages have been explained for the welfare of all, as they are most relevant. Because the sadhaka generally he always commits some offense. You see, Rupa Goswami is not a sadhaka, he's a siddha, perfected soul. Still, he's doing pastime as like a sadhaka. And that story of Kanja Krishnadas, you know? Rupa Goswami, he was siddha, he was never having any offense. It's not possible. But still, just to teach the jivas, the normal people, he's showing this. You have heard this story, no? How that Kanja Krishna Das. So if you chant without offenses, prema will develop very quickly. If you chant without offense, prema will manifest. The sequence is not necessary. Like Haridas Thakur, suppose, chanting 3 lakhs holy names, not falling Harinam, like Apatit Harinam, pure holy names. He was chanting 300,000 holy names, pure holy names every day. But still, for the normal people, we see this sequence. Ado Sadhu Sangha, Ado Sraddha Sadhu Sangha, Bhajanakayana Tanevritti Nistha. But Haridas Thakur, he took diksha from whom? Rupa Goswami took diksha from whom? It's not written in the scriptures. Naturally, automatically, they were chanting holy names and they attained the prem. Diksha Purasharja, apeksha na kare. Apeksha na kare. It's not necessary to take diksha. Those who are already chanting without offenses, it's not necessary for them to take diksha, suppose. But you are not like Haridas Thakur, are you? Are you like Rupa Goswami? Then you'll fall, certainly. Rupa Goswami, Haridas, they didn't take diksha, so why will I take diksha if they haven't taken? Not necessary for me. If you say this, it's an offense actually from you. So Vishwanath Chakravarti again saying, if the person didn't receive diksha and is showing symptoms of prem, we should understand, in the previous life, the person already did everything in the previous life. So he doesn't need to take again because he already took before. This is the siddhanta given. Beyond prema are the stages of sneha, man, pranay, raga, anuraga, bhav and mahabhav. Each is sweeter than the previous. At these stages, the soothing coolness felt in meeting Shri Krishna, the burning felt in separation from him, and the friction and overflowing of the various emotions of the heart are too intense for the sadhaka's body to endure. After attaining prema and shedding the current body, the devotee obtains the body of an eternal associate of Bhagavan and enters his holy abode. Like I told, prema is hot like fire, burning, or cold as like ice. To judge this is very difficult. You can come to the conclusion, okay, it's at the same time cold and hot. But how is it possible to be cold and hot at the same time? After attaining prema and shedding the current body, the devotee obtains the body of an eternal associate of Bhagavan and enters his holy abode. So this body will fall down. will finish. No, you leave the body. Example is Narada Rishi. He told himself, Narada Rishi, my sadhaka body was over. I left my sadhaka. Narada Rishi told, I left my sadhaka body and I went to the abode of Lord. Sometimes you see that some people, they don't give up the body and they go directly to the abode of Lord. It's also described sometimes that this happens. With whom? Udaharan dijiye. Dhruva Maharaj? So we don't listen that Dhruva Maharaj left his body. Then in that body, these stages of Sneha, Man and so forth develop in him according to this bhava, Dasa, Sakya, Vatsalya or Madhurya. The topmost manifestation of Prema, Mahabhava, manifests only in those who have taken shelter of the amorous mood of Braj. It cannot possibly manifest in others. Sometimes Bhagavan shows to the devotee something like it's like Indrajalik Leela. You know what is Indrajalik? Like some illusion, like a magic trick. Look. The devotee is not having the material body, but you think you have the material body. And in that same body you're going to the abode of Lord. But actually some illusion, it's like a magic trick. So the example is given just like the snake gives up its skin and goes out of that body and sheds the skin, the snake. So sometimes you see the devotee gives up the body or not before going to the transcendental world. When not giving up is Indrajalik. When not giving up the body, then is Indrajalik. Yeah? Even if he has the body, like suppose the body stayed behind, but actually it's not. According to the Maya of Lord, you see that the body is there, some body behind, but actually that body is not actually his body. This body you're seeing, because the body of that devotee was transcendental actually. You cannot understand. In the Prakat Lila, you didn't understand that the body was transcendental, the body of the devotee. So this is very subtle things. No, I saw Gurudeva in the old age. I helped him passing stooling. I helped him. No. Actually, just to accept your service, he did this lila, presented this lila. This is also true. Because his body is Chinmaya, transcendental body. He came in the transcendental body and he lives also in the transcendental body from this world. So in the Gita, Bhagavan says, Janama karma chamadivya. That person who really understands my birth and activities are transcendental, he will never be born again in this world. Transcendental. And those who, but you, because your intelligence, according to your intelligence, you cannot understand. But just to give you mercy and to accept your service, then just to accept your service. It's not necessary for him. Still, just to give you mercy, to increase your mamata possessiveness. Many conceptions are shown. Because if you serve someone, the possessiveness increases towards that person, isn't it? Because this creates love. A boy and a girl, how do they fall in love? It's not like from nowhere. I love you out of nowhere, out of the blue. No. It's not something that is only lip service. When you love someone, you serve. So if you love a girl, you have to open many, like you have to work a lot. You have to do so much to get a girl that you love, and then after some time she'll cheat you, and very quickly she'll cheat you and leave you. After some days, this girl, if she finds another boy better than you, this girl will leave you and go away with another boy. You had to work so hard to, this papar bela means like just like opening the papar. It's an expression, just like you work so hard. Oh, I cut the pocket of my father, took all his money to try to give you gifts, to give you nice food, to give you so many things. And now, but now you're seeing that I don't have a job, I don't have money, I'm not, Sata, do you understand? She saw that the boy never studied, he's useless, doesn't have any qualities. So, Arati time, he's saying. No, I'm talking about you. Understand the material world. Examples are for everyone, okay? In the material world, this is like this. This is true. She will suck all your blood. And you also suck her blood, both ways, no problem. This is true or not? Then after she'll see, oh, there's nothing, only the seed is there of that person, only the seed is left. Just like, then after you suck the mango, like you spit the skin, the seed, and you go with another person. This is the culture of the Western countries. Actually, this is in India. This also happens. Yes. Slowly, this we see also in India, but in the Western countries, this is too much. We see. I'm traveling for 25 years, so I see all this, isn't it? So in the Western country, this culture is coming also, and it's there. What to do? She'll suck you all of everything you have. In India, they have little bit some thing to keep this. Before throwing up this seed, they keep the seed a little bit. But in India, they just cut out the skin and suck, and then they spit out the seed in the Western countries. Here in India, they keep. Not even 1 hour I started. So. This is true. The culture, no, what to do? According to the culture. So people here, they tolerate more. But in Western countries, people don't tolerate. They don't tolerate. They have this culture, what to do? What can I say more? This is true. It's not their fault. This samskara, impressions they have. And also they see their family also do this. The father, grandfather, all of them, they also do the same. Society also accepts this easily, no problem. But the society here wouldn't accept this kind of behavior. Isn't it? People would insult you or call you names. On the street even. So people are afraid more here to do like this. So I have to finish here. So Prema is something from the transcendental world, not the material world. When we discuss about the stage of Prema, Sneha, Man, Pranay, Raga, Anurag, Bhav, Mahabhav, this is not something from the transcendental, from this world, only in the transcendental world. So why do we listen about this then? Why? Because we like to listen, huh? We feel so much happiness listening and speaking about this. Because there is rasa inside, mellows, because it's a transcendental thing, so there is this katha of Radha Govinda. If we speak Radha Govinda katha, we feel so much happiness. You cannot feel happiness in any other thing. As like you have happiness speaking about Radha Govinda. So there's a shloka in the 10th canto. So we feel so much bliss in the Bhagavad Katha. Srimati Radhika told to the bumblebee. Okay, bumblebee told her, my Prabhu has so many faults, so why don't you give him up? Why you continue speaking about him? Bumblebee asked to Srimati Radhika. No, Brahmaragi. If that person is it's a thief, if that person is bad, a cheater, is a devotee, stop talking about him. But why again and again you're speaking about him and his faults all the time? Then Srimati Radhika told to the bumblebee. I don't know, but his katha came in my heart in such a way I cannot stop talking about him. I cannot give up topics about him. So this is sweet ananda, happiness. That's why Bhagavad Katha, this speciality in the Bhagavad Katha. This sneha, man, pranaya, these levels of prema, they are not from this world. This is all from transcendental world. You cannot compare even to material things. Like yesterday I spoke about Srimati Radhika. This doesn't happen in this world. No. So this Lila Katha that I spoke yesterday, that she put some cotton in her ears. Remember that story? Then Jogamaya helped Krishna because Krishna remember her. And then Jogamaya became like a snake, and the snake made Srimati Radhika fearful. So we like to hear these things. You feel ananda, happiness, bliss. That's why we speak about this. So like all these stages of prema, we feel also bliss speaking about this. We feel happiness. Sneha, pranaya. Bhagavatam is also describing this. So how much ananda is in the katha? How much happiness to speak about Krishna and his things. Only a butcher is someone who wouldn't want to listen about Krishna Katha. Just that, like the hunter or those who kill animals, the butcher and the hunters, they are very cruel and hard-hearted. Only them. Wouldn't want to listen, because everybody, except these people, the hunters and butchers, everyone would want to listen Krishna Katha, because their hearts, this hunter and butcher, and those who have the heart very hard because of the offenses, then they don't feel this mellows in the Bhagavad Katha. When you feel this saras, this taste, mellows, this all this, when you don't have offense in your heart. Call Maharaj.